Hey, my flavored whiskey fans, it's time to talk about apple. Welcome to the Liquor Camp. If this is your first time here with us, we are lovers and explorers of all things liquor. Today, we're continuing with our flavored whiskey series by featuring apple. We've gathered up 12 apple-flavored whiskeys, and stick with me because I'm going to go through each of them, let you know what categories they fell into, and give you my number one top favorite pick, along with how I like to drink it. First, I want to get the bad out of the way. We're going to start with the category that I deem the shelf sitter category. These are the ones that sit on the shelf at the liquor store, and sometimes people pick them up, but I think you should leave these sitting on the liquor store shelf and not bring them home to sit on yours. The first one I want to talk about is Cincinnati Distilling Company Ohio Applejack. This one, there seems to be a pattern emerging with Cincinnati Distilling's flavored whiskeys in that they don't really have a flavor. And unfortunately, this one is no different. It's got really no apple flavor, and it's not a really good whiskey flavor to boot. So leave that one sitting on the shelf. The other one that I really feel is not so great is Jim Beam Apple. This one is super sweet, and it's got a good apple flavor in it, but there is something in the mix that brings a very sour note to it and really just reminds me of old vintage medicine that I used to take when I was a kid. It is not a good flavor. I do not like this one. Again, leave these sitting on the shelf. Up next is our candy and or super sweet category. This is the category where the distilleries seem to be going for that apple Jolly Rancher candy flavor and or are super duper sweet. First one I want to talk about is Seagram's Apple. This actually has a really good crisp apple, green apple type flavor, but it also reminds me of apple sauce. Still really sweet, inexpensive, coming in at $12 a bottle in our area, and it's still really drinkable, which is nice. The next one I'm going to talk about really surprised me, and that's the Black Velvet Canadian Apple. This one came in at $8.99 a bottle. I was shocked at how much I liked it. It has a good sweet apple flavor, but it's still really drinkable. It would be good enough to drink on its own, but fantastic in a cocktail. Next is the Evan Williams Apple. Evan Williams is a bourbon distillery out of Kentucky, and they do use Kentucky straight bourbon in this bottle. It is infused with apple liqueur, I believe. Yes, apple liqueur, and it does definitely have that liqueur flavor. It's really sweet, really nice bottle, still inexpensive, coming in at around $15 a bottle. It's a great one to have at home. Finally, we have my favorite out of this category, which is Crown Royal Regal Apple. Crown Royal is a Canadian whiskey. They use real Regal Gala apples, and that's how they get their name in their whiskey. It's got a definite apple Jolly Rancher flavor to it, but it is a richer flavor because their whiskey is just that good as well. And it's a nice kind of a grown-up apple Jolly Rancher. It's really rich. It's still pretty inexpensive, coming in at about $26 a bottle, so you're not going to break the bank to go get a nice quality apple flavored whiskey. So there you have my candy super sweet category. Up next, we have a new category that emerged with this particular flavor of whiskey as opposed to the other flavors that we've tried. These next three whiskeys, I really had a hard time putting them into any of the three categories that we usually do. They're pretty unique, and that's the reason why I've kind of separated them in what I call the unique category. The first one up is Whiskey Girl Apple and Maple. Whiskey Girl comes out of Hilton Head, South Carolina, through the Hilton Head Distillery. It's coming in at about a 60 proof, so it's a low proof whiskey. And it's made with natural flavors. They blend red and green apples with the maple, and they even put a little bit of lime in it. The flavor of this whiskey is really more sophisticated than the others that I've tried. It's got a really great blend, but you get a lot of distinctive flavors coming out of it. You taste the red apple, you taste the green apple, you taste the maple, and you even get that tartness from the lime. It really, to me, reminds me of an adult caramel apple, which I really enjoyed. It's a really great whiskey. It's a very sophisticated flavor and something I really think a lot of people would really enjoy. The next one I want to talk about is Traverse City Whiskey Company Michigan Apple. It is an 80 proof bottle, and it's a little bit more expensive, coming in at $30 a bottle. This one has a softer red apple type flavor along with the whiskey. It is a little bit more whiskey forward, but because of the natural soft red apple flavor as opposed to the other ones that mostly use green apple flavor, this one was definitely unique to me. I did enjoy it, but you know, it has a different type of flavor because it doesn't hit you in the face with any one particular thing. It's got a good whiskey flavor and a softer, more mild, natural red apple type flavor. Very good option to have. Next one is the Stillhouse Apple Crisp Whiskey. According to their website, Stillhouse puts their whiskeys in these stainless steel paint thinner type cans to keep them more portable and to also help with getting them colder faster. It is an unaged corn whiskey that comes across mostly with this one, and it has a nice, really tart green apple flavor. It is a very crisp whiskey. I enjoyed it very much when I drank it. It was among the top favorites that I had on all of these, but it is really unique because you can definitely taste that it's corn whiskey. Nice and refreshing, and I really recommend that you go and try it. Up next, we have our whiskey forward category, which if you've seen any of my other videos, you're gonna know is my favorite category. I am a whiskey girl, and I like my whiskeys to taste like whiskey. And so these really are two apple flavored whiskeys that focus on the whiskey first, not just adding a whiskey to an apple liqueur, but they have added flavors to enhance the whiskey. And that's why I really like these. And these are my number 3 and number 2 picks. Coming in at number 3 is Bird Dog Apple. This is a little bit higher proof, coming in at an 80 proof, and it has a red apple flavor, or it leans toward a red apple flavor much more than the others do. But it still has a good oaky whiskey flavor in it as well, but it also has cinnamon and clove and all the apple pie spices that you can think of really come through. It's really well blended, and I really do enjoy it. It comes in at $16 a bottle, so it's not going to break the bank to get this one either, and it's a fantastic choice. I have had really good luck with the Bird Dog products, and this was no different. Coming in at number 2 is Jack Daniel's Tennessee Apple. This is also a little bit higher proof than the rest of them, coming in at 70 proof, and we got it for $24, so it is still really accessible to most people. They use a green apple, but it is a baked green apple flavor that comes across. It does not fight the whiskey. I can still tell that I'm drinking Jack Daniel's, which I really do like. And it has enough of the cinnamon and the apple pie spices to really make it a very rich, deep flavor, which again, for a whiskey forward apple flavored whiskey, is what you want to find. I had a hard time ranking these two. I like them both almost equally, but the Jack Daniel's richer flavor really kind of edges it out over the Bird Dog. Either one of these are going to be a great bottle for you. And finally, we have my number 1 favorite apple flavored whiskey, and that is Yukon Jack Apple. We were reminded once again to never judge a bottle by its price. Yukon Jack Apple is sold for about $14 a bottle, but it is a fantastic apple flavored whiskey, and it's my number 1 favorite. It comes in at a higher proof. It is 100 proof, so it definitely has a kick to it, but it has a baked green apple flavor along with the apple pie spices, and it's very well balanced with that high proof whiskey. But you still taste the whiskey. It's still a good oaky whiskey flavor with the apple and the apple pie spices. It's a great blend. I really like this one. I was pretty surprised because I did not enjoy Yukon Jack's honey, but this really was my favorite. And the way I like to enjoy this apple flavored whiskey is with ginger ale. You take about 1.5 ounces to about 2 ounces of apple, put it in a glass of ice, and then just top it with ginger ale. Now you can garnish this with anything that you like, but it's got a great caramel apple flavor, and I like my cocktail simple, so this is how I like to enjoy it. Please go check out our whiskey flavored series, and if you found this video helpful or interesting in any way, please give us a like, subscribe, and we'll see y'all back here at the camp. Well, you take one straw. Welcome to the liquor camp. That's it. That's all you get.